A wise man once said, them superpowers getting neutralized, and boy was he right.
And nothing been the same since they dropped Control and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes.
Where are you at with a lot of the cats now, like the J. Coles of the world or the Drakes of the world? Where are you guys at now?
Same place. It's all love from the moment I did the verse to after the verse. You know what I mean? I think hip-hop is a sport, so you're going to have these little spits and spats. And it's all good because personally I respect these dudes as, you know, as people. You know what I mean? So outside of that, it's really nothing.
Specifically, where are you at, like, with the J. Cole? Specifically, where are you at with a Drake or so on and so forth?
Motherfuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga,
So you may know actor Aubrey Drake Graham from his role on Degrassi, and you may know rapper Kendrick Lamar from recently hopscotching on the aforementioned man's grave. And you may know this book from honestly sheer notoriety. This is the book that in many US state prisons is banned. You are not allowed to read this book. That book being, of course, the 48 Laws of Power. So today I'm going to be combining all three because, like many of you, I have also enjoyed this rap beef, you know? The lyric breakdowns, the analysis, the history. I have enjoyed every single installment of this. I've been talking to friends about it. I've been staying up late to watch the pop-out show. But the thing about all of this is, the thing that's most odd, that's most peculiar, is that generally speaking, I don't really get involved in kind of like drama or like pop culture stuff in general, you know, because like man's an intellectual and that. I do like socio-cultural analysis and things of that nature. But there was something about this rap beef that was really, I couldn't put my finger on it for the longest time. And so, you know, I wasn't going to make a video about it until the stars aligned and Kendrick released the video for Not Like Us, in which case I had a fucking Jimmy Neutron brain blast. And I was like, oh, I get it now. I get why I've been captivated by this thing for so very long. Hence why, instead of looking at this feud like, you know, just another rap beef, a little bit of internet drama, we are going to be looking through it through the lens of power.
what the fuck the big three? Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga, I'm really like that. My best work is a life pack. Nigga, Prince outlived my Jack. Nigga.
Hello and welcome back to the Laytonicals channel. It is I, the Layton in question, and today we are going to be analysing the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef through the lens of power. I just told you that, bro. Switch on. First and foremost, I need to address the elephant in the room. Do I know for certain that Kendrick Lamar has consumed the content of this book? Of course, no. I have not had correspondence with Mr. Morale, Kung Fu Kenny, K. Dot, other monikers. But I would be so surprised if either Kendrick Lamar or somebody on his team hasn't actually consumed this book, because some of what has been demonstrated over the past few weeks, months, what have you, are so specific. Let me give you a little taste. All right. Make accomplishments seem effortless. Create compelling spectacles. Crush your enemy entirely. This book has gone on to sell over 1 million copies for a reason, and if you think that companies, corporations, celebrities, artists, people in your real life are not privy to, are not aware of some of the keys to power, then baby boy, you need to switch on, and I'm gonna help you. Whether you like it or not, whether you would like to acknowledge it or not, we are all entrenched in power games. That's social power games, status power games, knowledge power games, hard power games, and what we are going to explore throughout the contents of this video, and what I think Kendrick Lamar is a master of, soft power games. So on top of this being a kind of rap beef analysis through the lens of power, it's also a way for you to kind of take away some learnings that you may want to incorporate into your entire life, because, you know, either you assert your own power or you fall prey to somebody else's. So either you can learn and use these rules, or at the very least you can merely be conscious of them. The structure of the video is going to be rule, excerpt from the book, and then we are going to see examples of how the rule was demonstrated throughout the rap beef, whether that's lyrically, visually, or otherwise. Quick trigger warning, there are going to be moments where I recite the rap lyrics in my British accent.
So that's just a disclaimer.
The time has come to lock in. So, drop a like if you're excited as we come to understand the Kendrick Lamar Drake rap beef through the lens of power together. So the first rule that we're going to be considering is interesting for a myriad of reasons. First of all, because it's the very first rule of the book, and then also because, ironically, even though this is a video about how Kendrick Lamar employed the rules found in the book, this is actually also one of the rules that he breaks, parentheses, when ready, because the first rule is never outshine the master. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. So, there is a Vulture article called A Complete Track-by-Track Timeline of Drake and Kendrick Lamar's Feud, which is not actually accurate because the first song that it has in its timeline is like that. However, debatably, the beef that Kendrick Lamar and Drake found themselves in has been going on for over a decade, has roots from a decade ago. So for those of you that aren't aware, Kendrick Lamar and Drake have been collaborators. I was going to say on and off, but it's mainly off. They started their collaborative relationship a decade ago. Drake theoretically was one of the first people to put Kendrick on because they toured together, but crucially, Drake was the headliner, whereas Kendrick Lamar was the support act. And so, relaying this back to the rule, one could say that Kendrick Lamar was almost the subordinate, and then Drake was the titular master. However, this was a hierarchy that Kendrick Lamar was not comfortable with, to which he made it known during the infamous Control verse. I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop and them niggas should know what time it is.
That goes for Jamaica, Big Crit Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake.
During this part of the song, Kendrick Lamar name drops a whole host of other rappers, but then also says,
Big Sean, J Electron, Tyler McMillan, I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas.
There's a few key things to note here to kind of like unpack the philosophy that's at play. This verse is from a Big Sean song. I mean, it begins as a Big Sean song, but by the end of it, it's Kendrick Lamar's song, okay? But during that listing, Big Sean is one of the people that are mentioned by Kendrick Lamar, i.e. one can deduce that merely being named within this verse is not indicative to say, I do not like these people. In fact, it's actually a compliment because he's fundamentally saying, you guys are my peers, you guys are my contemporaries, you guys are my rivals, let's say.
How some cats was like, they wasn't cool with it, others got fired. Then people that didn't even have their name in there wanted to have their name in there, you know what I'm saying? Where are you at with a lot of the cats now, like the J. Coles of the world or Drakes of the world? Where are you guys at now?
Same place. It's all love from the moment I did the verse to after the verse. You know what I mean? I think hip-hop is a sport, so you're going to have these little spits and spats. And it's all good because personally, I respect these dudes as, you know, as people, you know what I mean? So outside of that, it's really nothing.
Specifically, where are you at, like, with the J. Cole? Specifically, where are you at with a Drake or so on and so forth?
I respect their music.
Like that.
For sure. I respect them as individuals and creators.
Generally speaking, everybody knew that this was a compliment, okay? But there was one person that didn't quite take it as such, and can you guess who it is? And so from this point, depending on who you ask, depending on the interpretation, there have been a handful of sneak disses sent from and to Drake, Kendrick, vice versa, and things were made much more overt, although not necessarily in diss form, when Jermaine Cole did a name drop that was over that got Kung Fu Kenny's attention. What did he say? We the big three like we started a league.
Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the big three like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali.
What's the implication here? The implication is, well, you know, guys, we're kind of like the three top people. We're almost like, we're probably about the same, right? You know, who's really to say who the best rapper is? And then Kendrick Lamar came along to tell you who the best rapper was.
Motherfuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga,
So in that song, Kendrick Lamar said a lot of things, but namely, some of the things that he said are, okay, let's get it up. It's time for him to prove that he's a problem, i.e., okay, so if you want to talk your shit, my guy, you better prove some things to me. Are you really about it, or is it all just words? Also, fuck sneak dissing first person shooter, I hope they came with 3 switches. Okay, so we've spoken before about the covertness of the, the disses and things, and so that's what Kendrick Lamar is saying when he's saying fuck sneak dissing, and then he names their song verbatim first person shooter, i.e. I'm talking to you, man, yeah? You guys want to walk around telling people that, you're at the creme de la creme, you're the big 3. We're about to find out. And then, when he says with 3 switches, a switch, if you don't know, is also a colloquial term for a gun, a blicky, if you will, a burner. And then also it could be considered foreshadowing, because when he says come with 3 switches in a song that we'll get to later, known as Euphoria, that song has 3 beat switches, so it's a double entendre, bro. You gotta deep it, bro. Okay, and so on like that, with some of the bars that I just recited to you, Kendrick Lamar, in doing so, invoked Rule 8 of the 48 Laws of Power, which is, when you force the other person to act, you are the one in control. It is always better to make your opponent come to you, abandoning his own plans in due process. Lure him with fabulous gains, then attack. You hold the cards. This song, which I guess wasn't even a full song, it was merely a verse from Kendrick Lamar, a little taste, okay. It was bait, essentially, and a very successful bait at that, because Drake came through in response, and this geezer was not happy.
Pip squeak, pipe down. You ain't in no big 3. SZA got you wiped down. Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down.
Like your label, boy, you in a scope right now, and you gone feel the aftermath of what I write down. I'm at the top of the mountain, so you tight now. Peep how, when I recount Drake's lyrics, I need to look at a screen, because his shit is not as memorable, quite frankly, but I'll get to that later. He's essentially saying, mate, you're not as good as you think you are. There's all these other rappers that are way better than you. But as we all know, it didn't stop there, because Drake dropped another song fairly shortly afterwards, and
Kendrick, we need ya, the West Coast savior.
It's here that I want to introduce another rule that we can see demonstrated by Kendrick Lamar, again, merely from that single verse that he dropped, and that is Rule 39. Stir up water to catch fish. Anger and emotion are strategically counterproductive. You must always stay calm and objective, but if you can make your enemies angry while staying calm yourself, you gain a decided advantage. Put your enemies off balance, find the chink in their vanity through which you can rattle them, and you hold the strings. The ways in which you can see that this was also worked is that, from the rule that we've just spoken about, it's about almost infuriating your opponent, let's say. And I would say that it's pretty self-evident that Drizzy was a bit peeved, cheesed, if you will. He's so corny, bro. Whatever. Because before long, he dropped another song featuring, as we're all, aware of now, the infamous AI 2-pack and Snoop Dogg. The Snoop Dogg one doesn't even make sense. I mean, the 2-pack one doesn't either, but the Snoop Dogg one in particular, because he's literally still alive, so you really didn't need to. Evidently, Drake was tilted, which is why he made such a terrible fucking decision. Because until now, it was just, Kendrick versus Drake. And now there's undertones of the US versus Canada, the West Coast, its legacy, its heritage versus this, what many consider to be a kind of almost cultural appropriator, a colonizer. This additional song was essentially Drake's attempt at flipping the polarity, if you will. Kendrick Lamar has got Drake in a place where Drake is coming to him, because he's lured him, he's used the bait, it was successful, whereas now Drake is trying to, as I say, flip it, do the opposite. He's trying to bring Kendrick Lamar toward him, which is why he has lyrics such as,
Since like that, your tone changed a little, you not as enthused. How are you not in the booth? It feel like you kinda removed.
you trying to let this shit die down, nah, not this time, nigga, you following through. I guess you need another week to figure out how to improve. What the fuck is taking so long? We waiting on you. My guy, it hasn't even been that long, bro. Why are you trying to press man to be quicker? We're gonna find out why man was trying to press him to be quicker. But essentially, as you can tell, he's trying to speed up my guy, it's real tortoise in the hair energy. Despite the almost nagging from Drake, Kendrick Lamar took his sweet little time because he was employing Rule 35, master the art of timing. Never seem to be in a hurry. Hurrying betrays a lack of control over yourself and over time. Always seem patient, as if you know that everything will come to you eventually. Become a detective of the right moment. Sniff out the spirit of the times that trends will carry you to power. Learn to stand back when the time is not yet ripe and to strike fiercely when it has reached fruition. So let's do a little bit of a timeline. Like That came out on March 22nd, and then we have 3 weeks later Drake's response. April 13th is Push Ups, and then following less than a week later we have Tailor Made. So we've got Drake, sorry, no we haven't, we've got Kendrick, Drake, okay? And then Kendrick responds, what is that, 2 weeks and some change to Drake with Euphoria, and then has another thing. He kind of matches Drake's initial back-to-back with a back-to-back of his own by doing 616 in LA.
Off-white Sunseeker, had the marina. Fuck a phantom, I like to buy yachts when I get the fever.
So we've established that Kendrick Lamar is not in a rush. Okay, he's going by his own time. But then, with the drop of the song that comes out, I think you also see Kendrick Lamar invoke the Rule 17 of the 48 Laws of Power. But before I tell you what that Rule 17 is, I want you to bear something in mind. Here is the instrumental that Drake went with for his song. It's quite sinister, it's quite aggressive, kind of, it's dark, it's moody, it's kind of gritty, let's say. So then when Kendrick Lamar comes through with this. Rule 17, keep others in suspended terror, cultivate an air of unpredictability, and cultivate unpredictability he did. Humans are creatures of habit with an insatiable need to see familiarity in other people's actions. Your predictability gives them a sense of control. Turn the tables. Be deliberately unpredictable. Behavior that seems to have no consistency or purpose will keep them off balance, and they will wear themselves out trying to explain your moves. Taken to an extreme, this strategy can intimidate and terrorize. You see it drop, okay, it's okay, what is it going to be? What is it going to sound like? And then it sounds like a baby's lullaby, bro. It's almost disarming in a way. He's almost like, he's not even rapping, he's kind of just like doing this kind of sing-songy.
Them superpowers get neutralized. I can only watch in silence. The famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and
now spiraling. You're moving just like a degenerate. Every antic is feeling distasteful. I calculate you're not as calculated. I can even predict your angle. All of which seeming pretty prophetic as time goes on. I can even predict your angle. We see that in some of the songs that are coming later on. You're paranoid and now spiraling. Of course he is. The fucking AI 2-pack move. Dreadful. And you know, just as you're being lured into this kind of hypnotic, almost lullaby-like song, the beat switches, bro. So you get this strange juxtaposition of like something kind of cutesy and sweet and almost like lulling you into sleep. And then again, regarding the unpredictability, the hardness comes in, bro. The hardness comes in that's getting me hard. It's all kind of harrowing in a way, you know. It's almost like the same thing that happens when, I don't know, if you're watching a horror film and you see like a child, and you know, a child, generally speaking, is supposed to be relatively harmless, innocuous, let's say. So then when it turns into the thing that is gonna fucking kill you, it's all the more disheartening because you don't expect it, you know? And that is not even the only thing that one finds harrowing, because then, of course, you know, as we all heard, you also have Meet the Grahams.
Dear Adonis.
Also very harrowing, also very unpredictable. I heard it and I was like, I don't think I've ever heard a song like this in my fucking life, bro. And it was just it was, bro. I never remember where I was. I was at a boys sleepover type thing. I was hanging out with people from university, alright? Get off my fucking nuts. I wake up in a bed that's not even my own. Okay, I see that there's, you know, this song called Meet the Grahams. At this point, I'm not even aware that Drake did a Family Matters or whatever. You know, Kendrick Lamar responded way too quickly. Again, unpredictability, all right? It is the most harrowing thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. I go downstairs, immediately, have you heard it? Yes, I've heard it. It was, oh my god. Anyway, back to Euphoria. You have this kind of lullaby-like, low register, singing kind of cadence, and then you get this kind of high-pitched, damn near asthmatic attack when the beat switches, talking about, yeah, I'm out the way, I'm low, okay, yeah, that, and I'm like,
Here's remote, okay, I ain't thinking about no reaper, nigga, I'm reaping what I sow, okay, got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house, like I'm Joe, okay.
So now that I've kind of plotted the timeline of, you know, the releases of the songs and things of that nature, I can be a bit more loose in how I talk about the rest of the laws of power. I can be a bit more rapid fire. Rule 33, discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a weakness, a gap in the castle. That weakness is usually an insecurity, an uncontrollable emotion or need. It can also be a small secret pleasure. Either way, once found, it is a thumbscrew you can turn to your advantage. I think that Drake's supposed thumbscrew, let's say, is demonstrably his ego. Okay, so let's think about like the music videos that have dropped during this time period. Drake is the kind of guy to, in his music video, have the reveal of a statue based on himself. That's hubris, that's ego. Drake continuing to bait Kendrick Lamar to, oh, you gotta fire back, you know, the nah, etc. Can't back down now.
Nah, not this time, nigga, you following through. I guess you need another week to figure out how to improve.
We've been talking about this rap beef and how it's that Kendrick Lamar won, but we haven't necessarily spoken about the ways in which Drake almost proactively lost, let's say, by fumbling the rules. And so, for instance, there's 19, know who you're dealing with. I don't think Drake knew who he was dealing with, quite frankly. He fucked around and found out, and 47, know when to stop. If this were true, if Drake knew when to stop, I don't even think you and I would be having this conversation, frankly. Rule 4, always say less than necessary. There are many things, many accusations say that Drake made to Kendrick Lamar that revealed themselves to not only be inaccurate, but the opposite of true, as we'll get to later regarding the Whitney accusations, let's say. But then also on like an artistic level, you have him, let's say, saying too much in that Kendrick Lamar released a long song, so I guess I'm gonna have to release a long song too, which honestly just reminded me of what Drake would be like if he wasn't taking his Ozempic pills, because that song was bloated. So having a fragile ego is one thumbscrew. Getting called a pedophile in front of the entire world is another.
Certified lover boy, certified pedophiles. Wop. That fuck 'em up. Wop. I'ma do my stuff.
I had never experienced anything like this in my entire fucking life. Another man told another man in a rap song, okay.
Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
And then in response, of course, Drake is just in like defense mode. Hey, no, I'm not a p***, and actually, me and my team fed you those lines. You think that you're in control. Actually, I'm control. It's like, mate, if you in front of the entire world have to defend yourself as not being a pedophile in front of the entire world, I think you slipped up somewhere. I think you made a bad chess move. And then for other things, even if the information isn't necessarily true. So for instance, like Kendrick Lamar saying, you've also got a daughter that you haven't told the world about. Because Drake already had a history of hiding his children, Adonis, as came out in the previous rap beef with Pusha T. Oh my god, my voice is gone. It's like, he kind of doesn't have a leg to stand on. Whether he does or doesn't have a daughter, he still looks mad sus.
You are hiding a child, let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker playing border patrol.
Rule 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take credit. Use the wisdom, knowledge, and legwork of other people to further your own cause. Not only will such assistance save you valuable time and energy, it will give you a godlike aura of efficiency and speed. In the end, your helpers will be forgotten and you will be remembered. Never do yourself what others can do for you. So there's a couple of caveats to this. I don't think Kendrick Lamar would say that he took credit for stuff. However, he definitely did benefit from things that other people made, because after the pedophile bars, even before some of the pedophile bars, frankly, this almost created a resurgence for the internet to come together. People have been talking about Drake's interesting relationships with minors for a long time. But this created a whole resurgence in a way that it wasn't just like within, I don't know, a small pocket of like rap enthusiasts. This went like big. This went to, I don't know, the commentary people. Oh, did you know that Drake has weird relationships with...
Now, this is not the first time that we have heard about Drake's ongoing creepy behavior, especially with really young women.
What did Drake say? I'm your baby mama's screensaver, only fucking with Whitney's, not Millie Bobby Brown's. I'd never look twice at a teenager. And then the internet said, oh really?
Y'all gonna have me get carried away again. I get in trouble for shit like this. How old are you? Oh, don't say that. I can't go to jail yet, man. 17? Why do you look like that? You thick. Look at all this. I don't know if I should feel guilty or not, but I had fun. I like the way your breasts feel against my chest and stuff. I just want to thank you.
So Kendrick Lamar didn't make other people do this and then claim credit for it, but he definitely inspired a new wave of creators, of, you know, internet people to make this much more known than it was at the time.
As if Meet the Grams wasn't enough, Kendrick released a song called Not Like Us, which is the catchiest way to call somebody a I've ever heard in my life.
And then on top of that, you know, you have content creators merely because it's, I don't know, partially maybe a clout chasing thing, but also because it's just fun, bro. You've got them doing lyric breakdowns for Kendrick, the memes, the remixes. And I don't think we remotely saw as much of this from the other side, you know. I don't think this is merely my algorithm. I think this is just the case that the internet almost unanimously rallied behind Kendrick way more than they did Drake. And again, I think he invoked a kind of power play here, but he didn't instigate it per se. It's almost that the environment, it was there before him, because I think Kendrick Lamar had the benefit of Rule 32, play to people's fantasies. The truth is often avoided because it is ugly and unpleasant. Never appeal to truth and reality unless you are prepared for the anger that comes from disenchantment. And this is the important part, because I don't think the previous part actually is important, because I don't think Kendrick Lamar did a not telling the truth particularly. I think most people actually assume that if anything, Drake was the liar, Kendrick was telling the truth. Anyway, moving on. Life is so harsh and distressing that people who can manufacture romance or conjure up fantasy are like oases in the desert. Everyone flocks to them. There is great power in tapping into the fantasies of the masses. And what were some of those fantasies? I think you see them in myth, okay? And I think the most obvious one is something like David and Goliath. In this case, obviously, Kendrick Lamar is David, Drake is Goliath, because I don't know, Drake had seemingly been on top forever in a way that now, retrospectively, it's like, how was that guy for like a decade, the guy, the top dog, so to speak, you know? In 4 songs, this geezer fucking ruined him. I guess you really can't be on top forever, because at some point somebody is going to cut you down, and seemingly there was a kind of salivation, a kind of like underground salivation of people wanting Drake to be cut down, which is why they were so ready, let's say, to help the cause. Kendrick Lamar, let's say, has demonstrated himself to be the people's champion, let's say. You know, we can contrast this in some of the visuals of some of the videos that have came out over this time. Kendrick Lamar showcases the people, okay. Drake showcases a statue to himself. This might be a little bit of a stretch, but within the Mesopotamian myth, there's a god called Marduk who has eyes around him, meaning that he has vision, he can see truth, and also speaks magic words. And I think, in a way, Kendrick Lamar, there's again, I said it was a reach, but there's kind of like parallels in that, you know, Kendrick Lamar is somebody that ostensibly is exposing the truth and using magic words to do it. Rapping is using magic words. And you can tell that it's a kind of magic. It's certainly a level of supernaturalness, let's say, because he destroyed this guy's career in 4 songs, bro. Which now makes some of the previous songs that Kendrick Lamar has dropped, like Humble, for instance, seem almost prophetic. Get the fuck off my dick, that ain't right. I make a play fucking up your whole life, and he did it in 4 songs, bro. You know how many quotables there are? Motherfuck the big 3, nigga, it's just big me. What is it that breaks? It's always been about love and hate. Now, let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress, bro. Shit's so petty. I really thought it was so petty the first time I heard it, but now that's a fucking quotable banger. One of your friends says something that's like marginally inflammatory. You hit him with the, wow, you're really the biggest hater, bro. Some shit just cringeworthy. It ain't even gotta be deep, I guess. Certified lover boy, certified pedophiles. Why would I call around trying to get dirt on niggas? Y'all think my life is rap? That's ho shit. I got a son on the raise, but I can see you don't know nothing about that. Why are you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Try to strike a chord and it's probably a minor. We are now in the home stretch of the video, and so before continuing, I just want to say thank you to the patrons for holding it down. If you would like to join the Patreon and see your name on screen like these beautiful people, then you can do so in, I don't know, the pinned comments, the description. You'll figure it out. You're a smart cookie. Subscribe if you've enjoyed the video so far, especially because this next video that I've been cooking up for a very long time, baby boy, is also on a rapper, and I think you'll find it particularly interesting. So, you know, even hit the bell as well. If you don't like it, you can just turn the bell off afterwards, but you will like it. Or else. I think the most potent rule, the thing that ultimately made it so Kendrick Lamar came out on top, no pause. The thing that made Kendrick Lamar beat Drake is found to be in Rule 9. Win through your actions, not through argument. Caveat, I would also say that Kendrick Lamar, whilst winning through argument, also won through his actions. So, any momentary triumph you think you have gained through argument is really a psychic victory. The resentment and ill will you stir up is stronger and lasts longer than any momentary change of opinion. It is much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions without saying a word. Demonstrate, do not explicate. So it's pretty obvious where the winning through one's actions comes into play here. If there was any ambiguity about, I don't know who's winning this thing, the pop-out concert, bro, it was over. It was fucking done. It was Dunyan rings. It was over. Jova. All of them. What are some of the points of interest that happened in this concert? We've got the slow build of Euphoria.
Them superpowers get neutralized like a homely rock in silence. The first artist we once knew was looking paranoid and now spiraling.
Everybody knows the words to the diss tracks.
Know you're a master manipulator and a habitual liar too. But don't tell no lie about me, and I'm gonna tell truth about you.
Kendrick Lamar pulls out Dr. Dre. That is such a visual representation to be like, yeah, we don't fuck with this guy anymore. Dr. Dre is one of the OGs of rap. So the idea that like Dr. Dre is on Kendrick Lamar's side, that's essentially like a massive fuck you to Drake. It's like, you have been disowned by the industry. You know, sides have been chosen. Speaking of sides being chosen, some of the other people that pop up on the Pop Out concert, Tyler the Creator, who, for context, once upon a time, when throwing a carnival of his own, there was a moment where a lot of the fans were anticipating Frank Ocean to be one of the headliners, to be one of the closers, but then, in actuality, it turned out to be Drake. Drake ended up getting booed off stage, etc. Tyler the Creator went on to apologize and, sorry they treated you that way, Drake, etc.
Like I said, I'm here for you tonight. If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight. What's up? If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight.
So, once upon a time, Tyler the Creator, at least somewhat chummy, at least, demonstrated by, hey, do you want to perform at my festival? However, surprisingly to me, because again, Tyler the Creator, my favorite rapper, pops up at this, sides have been chosen. If Tyler's there, it's essentially fuck you, Drake.
Say what?
You've got Kendrick Lamar bringing on his day ones. Absol's there, Schoolboy Q's there, J-Rock is there. The unity, by contrast, who has Drake got as a close friend? He dissed ASAP Rocky, talking about, well, I was with Rihanna first, and so you've basically just got the leftovers. Goofy. He's had collaborations with Future. Future's collaborating with Kendrick Lamar. Another one gone. Lil Wayne doesn't even fuck with him anymore, even though Drake used to suck the dick of Lil Wayne back in the day.
Oh, Lil Wayne, he's just too good.
Well, Kendrick has a bar about it, doesn't he? Got with Wayne's girl while he was in jail, that's conniving or something.
Fucked on Wayne girl while he was in jail, that's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a bitch apologizing.
During the unfolding of the rap beef, there were like contemplations, speculations about, oh, are the stream numbers even real? Oh, they're using bots, they're using machines to run up the stream numbers. This isn't actually that popular. It looks pretty fucking popular to me, buddy.
One more time.
You've got this moving moment during the end of the performance where he rallies everybody together, you know, the Bloods, the Crips, the Pyrus, and so on. He's breaking that record, he's breaking this record. And then again, when the Not Like Us video drops, okay, remember, we're on Win Through Your Actions, okay. So, previously we heard, you know, Drake's only kind of one-up over Kendrick Lamar, supposedly, if you want to consider it. Oh, you beat your wife or whatever, but then look who pops up in the Kendrick Lamar music video, none other than his wife. And you know, there's this kind of like almost subtle joke in that his wife is in a vest that is known as a wife beater. So I don't know, it's almost this like subtle joke about like, well, you said that I beat my wife, but maybe what you're actually thinking is that my wife wears wife beaters. Because what did Drake say? What about the bones we dug up in that excavation? And why isn't Whitney denying all the allegations? And then further, and Whitney, you can hit me if you need a favor, and when I say I hit you back, it's a lot safer. Haha. I mean hit you back like communication, not hit you back like Kendrick Lamar, your fiance, does. But look who pops up in the Kendrick Lamar video, smiling, dancing. Where's the mother of Drake's child or potential children? We don't know. Then what else has Drake got to say to Kendrick Lamar thereafter? You know, because we've got, you hit your wife, you're short, and ooh, you're a Pulitzer Prize winner. Oh, that's there's this idea that success is the best revenge, you know, rather than trying to destroy somebody else's life. Just, you know, I'm gonna continue on as usual and become successful, and you'll be left there seething. You know, slightly above success being the best revenge, maybe actually happiness is the best revenge. Intact, happy family. Aubrey's over there seething, I know that. I tell you what, boy. Rule 37. Create compelling spectacles. Striking imagery and grand symbolic gestures create the aura of power. Everyone responds to them. Stage spectacles for those around you, then full of arresting visuals and radiant symbols that heighten your presence. Dazzled by appearances, no one will notice what you are really doing. I didn't realize, right, that seemingly people actually give a fuck about the opinion of DJ Academics. I thought that he was just like a guy that sometimes appeared on those fucking Manosphere podcasts with like Andrew Tate and stuff, but apparently people care. And like even he had to admit of like, oh, I guess the people actually are siding with Kendrick. Oh, because I don't know, there's speculation that he's like fucking Drake meat rider or whatever.
Tumbling backwards into a karate kicking high note, my innocence will eventually.
This nigga doing the most. This nigga doing the most, nigga. What top 5 you smoking on, Kendrick? Because my top 5 is Drake.
He's a professional hater is what I'm saying. But then, you know, as I say, even he had to admit that, like, because of the spectacle, oh, I guess he is winning. Kendrick is winning.
We don't want to hear you say.
He's a bad man. This is a bad man. I got to be honest. This is a bad man.
Well, you have the symbolism of Kendrick Lamar having Drake in a cage, Drake being represented by an owl because OVO, if you wanna, anyway. Kendrick Lamar's just hanging out, you know, and then somebody that is imitated to look like Drake gets flown away. It's like, he's untouchable, he's saying, get the fuck away from me. Okay. You also have the visual. I don't know if this is intentional. However, during the moment where Kendrick Lamar is doing push-ups in the Not Like Us video, he does 17, i.e. stop him before 18, because as we all know, Drake's into the teenagers, you know what I mean? He doesn't want an adult. So Kendrick has all these spectacles going on, but not only does he have spectacles, he's making it look easy all in the process, because he's adhering to Rule 30, make accomplishments seem effortless. Your actions must seem natural and executed with ease. All the toil and practice that goes into them, and also all the clever tricks must be concealed. When you act effortlessly, as if you could do much more. Avoid the temptation of revealing how hard you work. It only raises questions. Teach no one your tricks, or they will be used against you. This whole time, Kendrick Lamar's just being a cool geezer, bro. The whole city rallying behind him. Performs Not Like Us 5 fucking times. He just chilled out over the entirety of the Not Like Us video. Dude's just vibing, bro. He's just there. It's really embodying this idea of like, oh yeah, this is all just light work. 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Trouble can often be traced to a single strong individual, the stirrer, the arrogant underling, the poisoner of goodwill. If you allow such people room to operate, others will succumb to their influence. Do not wait for the troubles they cause to multiply. Do not try to negotiate with them. They are irredeemable. Neutralize their influence by isolating or banishing them. Strike at the source of the trouble and the sheep will scatter. I didn't realize that over the course of 2 months, somebody can go from being almost universally considered to be one of the coolest people in the world to one of the lamest fucking dudes going. Being a Drake fan at one point used to be cool, whereas now it's just embarrassing. You know what I mean? I'm so certain there are millions of people that once upon a time had like number of Drake songs liked, 50, 60, 70, and then they systematically unliked every single song of his because they just didn't want to be associated with it anymore, bro. You can't look at him the same, you know what I mean? Rule 15. Crush your opponent entirely. All great leaders since Moses have known that a feared enemy must be crushed completely. Sometimes they have learned this the hard way. If one ember is left, a light, no matter how dimly it smolders, a fire will eventually break out. More is lost through stopping halfway than through total annihilation. The enemy will recover and will seek revenge. Crush him, not only in body, but in spirit. I think this rule in particular and the dropping of the Not Like Us music video is the reason why I had the light bulb moment of this, because, you know, I've explained the other rules so far, but I think this is the one, okay? Because it's like, your songs were better. You've already taken the victory lap by performing all of the songs and having people sing along to them. So to then have a music video on top of that, it's like, not only has he taken a victory lap, not only has he killed Drake, buried him, at this point he's fucking dug up the body and is flailing it around for other people to bear witness to. Whether Drake is actually crushed completely, I suppose, is yet to be seen, you know. I'm sure he'll still go on to release more kind of like poppier music, you know. I'm sure there'll be another God's Plan or a Hotline Bling or what have you, but in terms of bars, in terms of like being well respected within the rap hip-hop community, I think it's over. I think it's a Dunyan Rings. Bro. What did you think of this video? What did you think of this take? What did you think of this lens? What do you think of some of the outstanding rules that I haven't spoken to? Because, you know, I've listed, I don't know, maybe 10 or so throughout this video, but there's another whole bunch, which I'm sure that Kendrick Lamar employed during this entire time. So I'm going to put the list down below in the pinned comment. If you want to scan over them to have a look and be like, oh, you didn't mention this thing that Kendrick Lamar did, and here's how he employed it, that would be interesting to see, you know. Even if it's not for the sake of continuing on the kind of discussion of this video, you will learn something, the keys to power, baby boy. I hope you enjoyed exploring this beef through the lens of power. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. I have fun hanging out with you. Parasocial relationship game 100.
And it started as a Drake diss, to be honest.
Drake doesn't get asked. Like, he's not asked, like, are you hard enough or anything like that, even though Drake's life is really my life.